Let's talk about the proper way to introduce first-time shooters to shooting. Welcome to the Liberal Gunner. But first, let's take a look at some clips on the wrong way to introduce new shooters to shooting.
Slide it all the way down.
I can't.
You get video?
Yeah.
Oh.
My ears!
Oh. Oh. Good shoot out of them.
I didn't expect that thing to be that loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't.
Listen, when you're shooting, don't ever jump.
You alright?
I don't want to do it.
Do it again.
No! Can I shoot yet?
Hang on to the gun. Hang on to the gun. Be careful.
I did not like that.
Oh yeah. Is it all done?
I don't know.
Pull the trigger one more time. Keep going. Alright, there you go. Put on safe and safe!
Oh, sorry.
Fuck!
Sorry, relax. I don't know how to do this.
Next time I teach you.
Yeah!
Sorry,
That would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. So did you think those clips were funny? Well, maybe you're an asshole, because those clips were stupid and dangerous. Giving someone a firearm that is too powerful for them to handle, and not going over proper rules and procedures for safety, is setting the scene for failure, and it's dangerous. Go back and notice how often firearms are flying out of people's hands, scaring them, hurting them. Most of them had no eye protection, no ear protection, and no training on how to properly and safely handle and shoot a firearm. How many of those people do you think are going to be eager to go shooting again? It's even worse than making them unwilling to go shooting again. It implants in their mind the idea that firearms are dangerous and scary, and it makes them more susceptible to anti-gun rhetoric. Shooting should be fun, and when you make something fun, people are going to do it more often. When you do something more often, you become more comfortable with it, and you get better at it. And this is what we want for shooting a firearm, is to be proficient. Remember that the goal is not to entertain yourself at someone else's expense. It's for everyone to have a good time. The proper way to introduce someone to shooting is to teach them how to shoot and what to expect. This is crucial to their continued enjoyment of shooting. You don't want to make them feel stupid for asking a question, for inquiring about something they don't understand. Explain it to them. Yes, it's going to be loud, but we're going to be using hearing protection. No worries. With proper handling and safety procedures, there's no reason to be fearful. Make them feel comfortable that you know what you're doing and that you're going to be there to help them and keep them safe. Don't be an asshole. You can do this anywhere. You can do this in your living room, in the backyard, anywhere that is a comfortable setting for this person so that they can focus on what you're trying to teach them. Start with the basics of safe handling procedures and the rules for safety. Don't get into too much ancillary information, just focus on the basics. Once they're comfortable and having a good time, then you can go over things like sight picture and how to clear malfunctions, etc. So today we're going to be talking about how to introduce a new shooter to the range, to shooting, teaching the manual of arms, the 4 rules to firearm safety. I say there are 6. If you can't remember 6, then you shouldn't be handling a firearm. Rule number 1 is muzzle discipline. Always keep your firearm pointed in a safe direction. That's generally going to be pointed at the ground at a 45-degree angle. You never want to point a firearm at anything that you don't want to shoot, kill, harm, destroy. So always be thinking, what direction is the muzzle pointed in? At all times, you want to make sure that you're not sweeping other people. You don't want to have your firearm turn to talk to somebody, sweep the dog, sweep your legs. Always want to make sure that wherever you're pointing the firearm is in a safe direction unless you're pointing it at a target. Condition of your firearm. Always know the condition of your firearm. Anytime you pick up, unholster, or are handed a firearm, you should know the condition. If you don't know the condition, you should check. In fact, you should always check unless you're drawing your firearm to fire it. First thing you want to do is pull the slide back. This is semi-automatic, so you pull the slide. On a revolver, you'd want to open the cylinder so that you can see each chamber. You want to put your finger in to the chamber so you can feel, look, feel, check to make sure there's no magazine. No way that this firearm could fire. When you're holding a firearm, you always want to hold the firearm pistol with your finger above the trigger guard along the slide. You never want to have your finger across the trigger guard because your finger could fall in and pull the trigger. So always along the slide. Always be able to identify your target and know what's beyond your target. When you're at the range or in a self-defense situation, you always want to be conscious of what's beyond your target. If you have to shoot someone, you don't want a bullet going through them and harming an innocent person. Where is that round going to go? When you're out at the range, you're out in a field, somewhere in the woods, hunting, always know what's beyond your target. If you don't know, don't fire. The 5th rule to firearm safety is ear and eye protection. Always have ear and eye protection. You never want to go out shooting without ear protection or eye protection. And number 6 is mind discipline. Always be thinking safety. Always. That should be your number 1 concern anytime you're around or handling a firearm. If someone else is mishandling a firearm, it's up to you and your safety as well as others, their own safety, to say, hey, don't point that weapon at me, or hey, point that in a safe direction, or is that clear? You don't want some jackass fooling around with a pistol in your presence and you don't know whether it's safe or not, right? So number 1, don't hang around jackasses and firearms, and number 2, always make sure that everyone around you is being safe as well as yourself. Mind discipline. Always be thinking safety. Always be thinking, where's my finger? Where am I pointing this firearm? I see guys sometimes out on the range, they'll sit on the tailgate of their truck loading a rifle, and they're not thinking that while they're loading this rifle, it's in their lap pointed right at everybody else who's at the firing line. So be conscious always of safety. So now I'm going to hand Lori this firearm in the proper manner, which is I'm going to take a hold of the barrel, the slide, giving her the opportunity to take a hold of the firearm by the pistol grip so that then she can manipulate the firearm and make sure that it's clear and safe. So what you want to do is you want to get your hand up high so that this part of your hand between your thumb, the webbing there, is pressed up against. You got a good firm grip because you always want to handle a firearm firmly. It's not something that's going to break. It's not a glass. Handle it. Be firm with it. Make sure that you don't accidentally drop it. Get a good grip. Hang on to it. Don't treat it like it's some China doll. Okay, so now clear the weapon. That's what these serrations are for. Sometimes with some of these, this is a smaller 380, sometimes they're a little bit hard for a woman to manipulate. You can either do it overhand or from the back. So either like this, there you go, or overhand this way. There you go. Either way, whatever makes it easier and comfortable for you. And when you do that, you always want to make sure that you don't pull the firearm up, because now what are you pointing it at, right? So you always want to make sure that you keep it like this. You turn the firearm to the side. That's how you do it. Okay, you want to hand me that firearm? You do it this way, do it this way. Muzzle discipline, condition discipline, trigger discipline, target discipline, mind discipline, and ear and eye protection.
Live long and prosper.
Manipulating the slide, knowing how the firearm works, how you hold a firearm, how you grip it, all of this is called your manual of arms. Each firearm has its own manual of arms, and you should be familiar with any firearm that you pick up to shoot. If you don't know, ask the owner. If the owner doesn't know, don't fool with it. Pardon the poor sound quality, we are having an issue with the microphone. So we're out on the range today, and we're going to show you the proper way to introduce somebody to shooting. And we'll start with introducing Lori, our assistant today. Introducing Lori to the range. Lori, say hello to the range.
Hello, Range.
Range, say hello to Lori. Okay, so we're out at the range, and we're going to do a little shoot and have some fun. One thing I want to remind everyone is that when you're out at the range, every person is a range officer. So everyone has the right to make sure that everyone else is wearing their ear and eye protection, that they're being safe with their firearm. If you see anything happening that is unsafe, it's up to you to say to that person, hey, watch where you're swinging that firearm, watch what you're doing. Is that loaded? Does everyone have ear protection on before you fire? Always check with everybody else around. Hey, everybody got their ear pro on? Because you don't want to start shooting and have somebody standing nearby harming their hearing. This is a PK380, a Walther PK380. This should be small enough for Lori to handle effectively and without any problems. She's not going to be afraid of this thing. It's not going to harm, it's not going to hurt her wrist or anything. So you want to make sure that when you're introducing someone to the range, you're giving them a firearm that they can handle. It's not safe for you to give somebody a firearm that they can't handle. You give someone an elephant gun, 120 pounds, not only are they not going to be able to hold it effectively, but once they fire it, it's not going to be any fun. And this is what we want to do out here, right? We want to have fun, because when you're having fun doing something, you'll do it more often and you'll get better at it, and that's what you want. You want to be proficient with your firearm. So, make it fun. Have a good time. Otherwise, who wants to go to the range or go do something that's not fun? So here's an empty firearm. First thing you want to do is check it. Is it clear?
Clear.
Alright. Here's your magazine. Okay, so when you're going to load your firearm, make sure you're pointing it in a safe direction. You put the magazine in, and when you put it in with a little force. You want to make sure that you get it seated properly, so you're going to put that in there. and then give it a tap. There you go, just to make sure. Okay. So now what you want to do is make sure everyone has their ear and eye protection. So you check with everyone, you look around, make sure you say, everybody got their ear protection in?
Everyone have their ear protection in?
Okay, I don't.
Get it in. It's finally working.
Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to pull the slide back, and what you do when you chamber around, you want to grab a hold of the slide, pull it back, and release it. You don't ride the slide forward, you don't pull it back a little bit and let it slide forward. You pull it back and release so that it snaps. That makes sure that the round goes into the chamber in the proper manner. Okay, firearm is ready to fire, so get a grip. Okay, what you want to do with a modern grip is put the firearm with your thumb up here, this whole empty space here. This is where this part of your hand goes. Your thumb goes forward like you're pointing your thumb. Get a good firm grip with your other hand. Okay. So now that's a good starting spot for your grip. And then with this thumb, you want to reach up and push that forward. That takes it off of safety. All the way up. Make sure that anytime you do any of this stuff that you're doing it with purpose, right? You want to flip that. Make sure you flip it up, slap the magazine in. You know, you handle a firearm. Okay, now you get your target alignment. We'll go over sight picture later, but you've got your sights aligned, you're pointing at your target, you're ready to fire, you put your finger on the trigger, and then gently squeeze in one. There we go. As you can see, she didn't jump or flinch or drop the weapon and run for the hills. She actually smiled. All of her anxiety in that moment about what was going to happen washed away when she realized it was no big deal. Okay, fire another round. Put your grip on there, put your thumbs up against the side of the firearm. Okay, now when you bring your firearm back down from the target, put the safety on. Reach up with your thumb. Should be the other thumb. Should be this thumb. This is the thumb that you want to manipulate your safety with right here. So you want to reach up and pull it back, pull it up, pull it down. Okay, so now, and the firearm is in safe. It's on safety, but you shouldn't treat it like it's safe. You should treat it like it could go off. So you want to make sure that you're always holding the firearm properly. And then flip that safety up. Make sure the grip is tight. And safety. Okay, so hand me the firearm. Now, I already know that it's a fully loaded firearm. So the first thing I'm going to do is release the magazine. This is the procedure. Okay, always the magazine first, and then clear the firearm. You know, you got a round in the chamber. You're going to pull that slide back, let the round come out. Now you've just cleared the firearm, but you want to check. Open it up, look in there, make sure there's nothing in the magazine, nothing in the chamber. Ride the hammer forward. One of the reasons the AR is the most popular rifle in America is because it's very low recoil. Perfect for a first-time shooter. And then pull the trigger. It didn't hurt her shoulder, didn't throw her on her butt. She had an enjoyable time shooting, And that's what we really want when we take a new shooter out to the range. Make them feel comfortable, have a good time. So thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Be safe out there, get training, be kind, and thanks for watching.